Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is lit. We out. We up here. Um, Thank you once again, guys, for tuning in to the live. Tuning into the live. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook as well. And y'all know that we are gonna keep having these live streams, man. Keep going, keep showing to the people that, you know, we're here, right? We're here. And so first and foremost, before anything else, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. This is a secondary channel I do have. And I have a main channel, Snipe Hats on YouTube, right? So once again, show love if you can, show love if you can, right? So there's a lot to get through in this episode. So I want to get to it. Just get right to it. We have quite a bit to get to. I want to take my time, really go through a lot of things because we just finished up a really important NBA season, in my opinion. Important NBA finals, right? And more importantly, right? More importantly, how was, like I said all the time, how was good for basketball. If you guys have been tuning into the live streams before in the beginning of the playoffs, beginning of the postseason, I said from the beginning the Nuggets and the Heat, I believe, is going to be good for basketball culture because as a result, right, um, what happens is, right, we have a culture that continues to show, right, what is or isn't important for the game of basketball, what the kids are, watching and listening to. Everything's highlights, and not enough basketball, right? Not enough um, true fan learning about the game, educating fans on the game, educating fans on how basketball is played, looking at things through from a coach's lens, looking at things through a non-casual lens, looking at things not just from highlight culture. Like I said before, a lot of people, even if you go hoop outside right now, that's kind of why, like I said, I stopped playing before, just because it's hard to play now. Everything's three ball this, three ball that, and it's one of those things where it creates a redundancy. And for the first time in quite a while, you were able to see what happens when there is no redundancy. You're able to see what happens when there is no super teams. You're able to see what happens when you do have coaches who make adjustments, when you do have players who have great IQ, when you have balance on the basketball court, when you have balance on the roster, when you have role players that buy into what they're buying into and playing within the system they decide to play. Okay, so let's talk about how this was good for basketball, how this was good for culture, how this was good, which will be what the NBA becomes for the next at least 5 years, in my opinion. Um, so let's just get right into it, right? Let's talk first and foremost about the Miami Heat and what they shown, which goes to show, some people will look back and say, well, they beat Giannis when Giannis was hurt, right? But in my opinion, when you're the best player in the world, you have the favorite team, you have the better roster. Um, there were some things that Milwaukee got exposed on, right? So we're not going to get into that until free agency and stuff like that, or another episode. But what Miami shown was IQ can win you a lot of games that you're not supposed to win, series that you're not supposed to win, right? What we also know and understand is that with Miami, right, we talk about IQ. Okay, you have Jimmy Butler, you have Kyle Lowry who won a championship, you have Kevin Love, role player who won a championship, right? Who used to be a former All-Star. You have Jimmy Butler there. Okay, it was his second finals. You have Bam Adebayo, second finals. You have Max Strus. You have Caleb Martin. You have Gabe Vincent. You have Cody Zeller, who's a vet in the league, right? IQ players, high IQ players, guys who know how to play their position, guys who know and understand how to play within their role on the basketball court. Then they play New York. Once again, high IQ. Then they played Boston, which I believe if that's the one series that showed me that you need to understand the game of basketball from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint, and not even just really the X's and O's, right? Because if you listen to the previous live streams, we broke down exactly what Boston's issues were, how Miami exposed them, and how they were able to continue to go to the finals, right? Remember, guys, this is the same team. Yes, they were AC, but this is the same team that could have went to 3 finals in a row. 3 finals in a row. So let's continue to have the proper narrative about this team. This was a very good team. This was not just any 8 seed. This was a really good team. Really good team. Okay? So what happens is, well, now they are one piece away. And if you watch this finals, all of Miami got exposed is they just don't have a real shot creator at the point guard position or the backcourt position in general. 1 or 2. Which is why when we get into free agency predictions, but here's a spoiler, they should go after Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. That would have helped them a lot in this series from a shot creating standpoint to relieve pressure off Jimmy Butler, because he's more of a playmaker kind of scorer at the same time, but he's not just a straight bucket getter. They need straight bucket getters on that team, straight scorers, right? So what Denver's shown us, right? Actually, no, let's continue with Miami, right? So great coaching. You need great coaching to advance far in the series, in the finals, right? And so Eric Spoelstra, right, who's coached LeBron, coached Dwayne Wade, been there from the beginning, got tutelage under Pat Riley, who's one of the 15 greatest coaches of all time, right? You have an organization that builds well. You have GMs that know what they're doing, right? And this is why we say everything needs to be in cohesion. Your organizations need to be in cohesion, right? Once the Lakers got cohesion, they went straight to the conference finals, right? You saw that. So for Miami, one player away, but you have everything else. You have the coaching, you have the bench depth, you have the secondary, tertiary stars, right? You have role players, you have people that buy in, you have people that know how to play basketball, right? And what Denver's shown us is the blueprint of how to build a team with the CBA coming up. The CBA is not going to allow people to build super teams. They're not going to allow people to have max salaries to be all on the same team. You're going to need to build a team organically through the draft, right? With a little bit of free agency. So for the Nuggets, right, you have your generational talent in Nikola Jokic, who I believe is a top 25 player. We will get to that later. But once again, you have an all-star in Jamal Murray. You have a player that could be an all-star, but he's still a very talented 3-and-D guy, Michael Porter Jr. You have Aaron Gordon, Swiss Army knife. You have players that KCP, 3-and-D. You have your Christian Brown, 3-and-D, right? You have Bruce Brown, who's a combo guard, plays really good defense, started hitting the 3-ball, right? Jeff Green, vet, been there. High IQ guys who have a system. We're going to play through Jokic, use his playmaking ability, get up and down the floor, right? Jamal Murray is going to be more in the half court, the dribble handoffs, right? We're going to dish out to Michael Porter Jr., dish out to KCP, dish out to Aaron Gordon so he can make a move, get to the basket. Then when our bench just applies pressure, increases the pace even more so, right, with Bruce Brown and Christian Braun, and create hectic basketball, but beautiful basketball at the same time, ball movement. Okay, You have a coach in Michael Malone who has X's and O's, who understands the game from a technical standpoint, but also is able to make adjustments on the fly. He matched Eric Spoelstra's coaching, right? When Eric Spoelstra, whenever Eric Spoelstra said we're going to double Jokic, they had an adjustment for that. When they single covered him, they had a match for that. So once again, we were able to see the importance of that. Okay, the series is going to be good for basketball because now teams have to build through the draft. Now teams have to organically find teams, not build super teams, not try and get this player and try and figure it out. And we have two players, and don't build it lazy now. Don't build it lazy. Build for now and build for the future. And there's not a lot of teams that have that right now. I mean, the Lakers, and they got to figure out the point guard position and what they're going to do depth wise. Boston, we got to know what they're going to do with their backcourt. Malcolm Brogdon, I heard, is going to possibly go to get traded. We don't know what's going on with them, right? But they're right there as well. Okay, but there's a lot of other teams that just have holes in their rosters. They just either don't have an identity, they don't have enough high IQ guys, they don't have enough guys that understand playoff basketball, whatever the case may be. But either way, this whole NBA Finals, this whole NBA postseason exposed that. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Is Jokic top 25? Where is he? Where is he amongst the greats? Is he an all-time great? Is he officially on some people's lists? Me personally, I'm not gonna get into the centers because not a lot of people know centers, but we're gonna get into just the basic all-time rankings, right? The basic all-time rankings. I updated mine. I almost left some people out because I forgot. I was forgetting people's names. I may update just for the players of the last 50 years, just because I'm a younger person. I haven't seen the Wilts and the Russells and all those guys, but I still wanted to put them in. Let me just not yet personally. Not yet personally. So you don't have Jokic top 25. I beg to differ. I'll show you my list, bro. I'll show you my list. But let's get to it. So I'm gonna show y'all who I have for a list. And we're gonna get popping. We're gonna get right to it. Let me just share my screen. Let me share my screen. So this is my list, man. This is my list. Okay. As of right now, I have Jokic top 20. And these were the players that I had. Right. We're gonna start from the top. We're gonna start from the top because I know once I put this out on Facebook and put this out on YouTube and put this out everywhere, people are going to start coming at me. Why you have this player ranked here? Why you have the whatever? But you get the point, right? MJ's the GOAT, Braun at 2, Kareem at 3, Magic at 4, Duncan over Kobe, Duncan's 5, Kobe 6, Russell 7, Shaq 8, Bird 9, Steph 10, Will 11, Julius Erving 12, Hakeem 13, Moses 14, Oscar 15, West 16, Isaiah Thomas 17, Giannis 18, Wade, Dirk, KD, KG, then there's Jokic, Malone, Robinson, Barkley, Pippen, Elgin Baylor, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Rick Barry, John Havlicek. So I have Jokic in the top 25. The championship, what the championship did for him was give him the validation for his back-to-back MVPs. Should be 3-time MVP, should be back-to-back-to-back MVP, but it validated it, right? He had the dominant postseason runs, start to finish, right? Dropped a triple-double. Okay. Are we counting GOATs without ring as well? Yes, I included people without rings. Included people without rings. I have Jokic 7th all-time amongst my centers. He passed Patrick Ewing. He passed George Mikan. He passed David Robinson. Now I have David Robinson in my top 25, so I had to put Jokic up there. So yes, it includes GOATs without rings as well. As you can see, the first person without a ring is actually after Jokic, which is Karl Malone, who I have over David Robinson. So I know a lot of people are going to be coming at me for other people on this list. I will always back up my list, right? But I do have Nikola Jokic top 25, top 7 center of all time. Me personally is so for centers, to give some context, who I have him with, right? This is Kareem is the greatest center of all time to me. Okay. Then you have Bill Russell, Shaq 3, okay, Wilt 4, okay, Hakeem 5, Moses Malone 6, Nikola Jokic 7. Okay. I don't have him above Kevin Garnett because Kevin Garnett does have a Defensive Player of the Year. KD does have the scoring titles. Dirk, I need to see Jokic have a little more longevity. As you can see, probably why I have certain people over the others. Whether it's a lot of it's based on longevity, whether Defensive Player of the Year awards. There are other things that I personally value, right? Context to players' careers. There are other things that I value um, over others, right? So when I was looking at Jokic, I was saying, is he above a David Robinson? David Robinson won 2 rings, but got to give some context. David Robinson, right, was at the tail end of his prime when he got Tim Duncan, who was a first team All NBA player, who was top 5 in my opinion, but the second greatest defender ever. Second greatest defender ever behind Hakeem Olajuwon. All right. And so I also, like I said, Dirk, longevity. Wade got his 3 titles, right? Was a better defensive player. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year award, 2 titles, finals MVP. Isaiah Thomas was the bridge between 2 great all-time teams, was able to win 2 back-to-back, right? In an era where he also had Bird's team and Magic's team, and he bridged off to Michael Jordan. So I have to put him there. And to be honest, I wouldn't, if someone said Isaiah Thomas is a top 15 player ever, hey, we got to give it to him. Okay. But those are the reasons. As you can see, I validate more people above him. Karl Malone, not above Nikola Jokic, didn't win a ring. Right. Barkley, not above him, didn't win a ring. Okay. Scottie Pippen was number 2 when he was by himself, never advanced past to an NBA Finals, lost in the conference. I believe, I don't know if it was the semis. No, yeah, it was the conference semis, right? John Stockton, same thing. Jason Kidd, even though he won a championship, he was a role player by then. Barry and Havlicek. Didn't watch a lot of Rick Barry, but John Havlicek also played with Bill Russell. So that's what's going on here. Okay, that's what's going on. All right. So that's where Jokic is. Jokic is officially in the top 25. Okay. And, that leads to his teammate. Where's Jamal Murray in all this, right? Where is Jamal Murray in all of this? Okay. Because when we look at the players today in today's game, well, a lot of times we don't talk about Jamal Murray. Okay. A lot of times we don't talk about certain players, and like I said, this is lists, man. These are lists. Not a lot of people can give you true lists and back them up. Not a lot of people can sit here and say certain things about certain players. And besides give you casual, boring takes, well, they have a reason to back it up. So let's get into it. Right? Let's get into it. So this is my top 15 list. Point guards in the league. Okay. So I'm going to just name them. Okay. Steph's king, number 1. Steph 1. Luka 2. Dame 3. De'Aaron Fox 4. Jamal Murray is in my top 5. Jamal Murray is in my top 5. You won a championship as a secondary player. But if you watch those games, if Jamal Murray doesn't go off in those Lakers series, I don't know if the Nuggets move on. I don't know if the Nuggets move on. He was killing the Suns too. He was killing. We're not gonna talk about the Wolves. No, the Wolves, yeah, whatever. Anthony Edwards tried to guard him still, got cooked. Right? Jamal Murray was cooking everybody. So next year you should be getting some All-Star consideration, some All-NBA consideration. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, first team All-NBA, I have him 6. Ja Morant, your boy, 7, right? Because he got exposed in the playoffs. Yes, his hand was hurt, but if you watch that series, there's a lot of things as far as his game that he has to work on. His jump shot, his pull-up jump shot to be exact in the mid-range coming off the screens. Okay? He needs to have a little more variety with his game towards the mid-range. Those floaters, he needs to continue working on his floaters, continue working on the Euro steps, other finishes around the basket that's not necessarily trying to dunk on everybody and get the highlight play. Once he does that, he'll definitely be a top 3-point guard in the league. James Harden's number 8, Drew Holiday's number 9, Jalen Brunson 10, Kyrie Irving 11, Trae Young 12, 13 is Darius Garland, 14 Tyrese Halliburton, 15 is LaMelo Ball. Some of these players are also 2 guards masquerading as points, but at this stage in their career, they're point guards, right? So that's who I have as the top 15. Like I said, Jamal Murray got his championship. I'm going to validate that because you won your championship, right? Steph, 4-time champion. Okay, De'Aaron Fox is, as far as young players, the only player I have. De'Aaron Fox and Luka, as far as who's better than Jamal Murray. I think he's better than Shai just because I think he's a better passer, more willing defender. Even though Shai's a solid defender, Shai's right there. I think once Shai gets into the postseason, I think you're going to see a lot more of him on a bigger stage, which will get people to think. So that's it for me. So yeah, that's my list, man. I think Jamal Murray, we need to start talking about him that way. We absolutely do. I think Jamal Murray's ability to post up is something that we see kind of out of like an old school. He's kind of like an old school game mixed with the new school game. You see a lot of the Gary Paytons. You see a lot of these big point guards that used to post up, right? The Gilbert Arenases. You can tell he grew up watching a lot of 90s basketball because of the way he posts up, because of the way he likes to be in the mid post. He likes to be in the low post with the smaller guards. He's a 6'4", 6'5" point guard. That's a big boy for a point guard, right? So gotta love and respect Jamal Murray. Gotta love and respect Jamal Murray. It was refreshing to see a guard post up, right? Guards don't post up much anymore. So free agency predictions, man. Free agency predictions. I think that once again, there's going to be a lot of free agents that are popping. So I'm going to mainly talk about what like certain teams could do or certain players could do or go. So Dame Lillard, I already said it before, should go to Miami. I believe if I'm Miami, I'm sending him Tyler Hero. I'm sending him Duncan Robinson. I'm sending him a few players, some picks, and saying, hey, we're getting that scorer. We're getting that bucket getter. If not, we're going to go for Washington. I think for Bradley Beal, personally, where I think he's going to go, I think he could stay in Washington. But if I'm Washington, you got to get off of him because you got to figure out, do you want to rebuild? Do you want to stay competitive? And if you want to stay competitive, you have a couple pieces there, but you need to like really get going with it, right? So for me, it's pretty evident that Jason Tatum loves Bradley Beal. For me, for Boston, I think what works for their system, you're going to need a guy that's a little bit better of a shooter, but you're going to need a guy that can create for his own as well without needing screens and working and can work well in traffic, which Bradley Beal is that guy, right? If you want to keep Jaylen Brown, you absolutely can. He's a top 15 player in the league, top 20 player in the league, right? He's second team All-NBA for a reason. But you got to make a decision. Do you want to get him the max contract or shave off about $40 million and build a team? Which I think if I'm Boston, we figure this out. I'm keeping Jason Tatum and we figure this thing out. Okay. James Harden. If I'm James, I stay and figure it out in Philly. Right? Joel Embiid was, like I said before in the previous stream, it's Joel Embiid to me. That's the one that really needs. I know James needs to change his game a lot and just give more variety to his game, but he is who he is at this point. Great pick and roll player, great assister, great shooters, great spot up player, right? But Joel Embiid needs to get his butt on the block and figure this and really stop playing at the elbow because it's not working, man. You need more space on the court for Maxey and for Harden to have a rhythm at most times too. So that's what it is for me. If I'm the Lakers, so all my Lakers fans, you better be on this because I'm giving you the sauciest matchup, the sauciest player you need on your team, the most realistic player you need on your team. Okay. A perfect player for the Lakers would be Freddie Van Fleet. That's a player I would look at, right? All-star caliber player who could create off the dribble, player that plays solid defense, player that's won a championship, player that can spot up and shoot. All the things D'Angelo Russell could do, but he does it more consistently and is proven on the big stage. Fred VanVleet is the guy you need to get. Now, if you could get Chris Paul, you're going to need Dennis Schroeder. You're going to need Austin Reeves to be more point guards and be more so with the ball in their hands throughout the regular season so you can save Chris Paul. I don't think you will unless they waive the Suns. And last thing I know, but you could try some things, see if there are other players you can possibly get on that level. But Chris Paul is somebody that at this point should be coming off the bench. So at this point should be a secondary playmaker with those who are in the bench unit and be somebody that can kind of spot up. But you can't get Chris Paul if he's going to continue breaking down. I would not trust that. I don't trust his body. You got to stay younger. You see what works. You got to stay younger. Have younger players around Bron and AD that are going to do all the dirty work, going to be banging and going crazy and running out and going crazy on defense. LeBron's showing a little bit more that willingness to play defense because he was able to pick his spots on offense. You need a player that can go get his own. You just do, right? And unless you're magically getting Kyrie, which I don't think you guys are getting, and if you do, you don't have the cap space to build another team with the new CBA. Stick with the two big guns, right? Bonner and AD. Then you have the role players. It's proven to work, and you get another training camp. Get Fred VanVleet. Trade D'Angelo Russell for Fred VanVleet. Straight up. If you need to throw a pick in there, throw the pick in there. But trade D'Angelo Russell for Fred VanVleet. Okay? Crazy, bro. I need to see what the other free agency is like, but I'm gonna just talk about some draft stuff before we close it out. So we all know Victor is going to San Antonio. We all know that Pop's can build him up, and he gets another Duncan, he gets another David Robinson, he gets another great center to build around. So it's gonna be exciting to see what he can do. If I am the Charlotte Hornets, listen to me very much so. You have an opportunity to build the team with LaMelo Ball. You actually have a point guard. Kemba, loved Kemba. Kemba maxed out early. Not only so much a 5'10" dude can do. You have a 6'6" point guard, 6'7" point guard, 6'7" guy that can pass the ball and do things, right? You have Terry Rozier, like Terry Rozier. Do you build the backcourt first, or do you add some size on the wing? It's a question you need to ask yourself that for all my Charlotte Hornets fans. It's a question you need to ask yourself. What I would personally do is not draft for fit and draft the best available player. I would draft the best available player. Because we all know the Blazers will give up Dame if they get Scoot. You want to play chess here. You want to play chess here. Because you don't want Dame going to New York. You don't want Dame going to Miami to be in your own division. As a competitor, we gotta talk chess here, not checkers. Chess. I'm getting Scoot with the second pick if I'm the Hornets. Why? Because I can start him and LaMelo in the backcourt. He's a better defender. He's a longer athlete, great athlete, will run up and down with Melo, right? He's a solid shooter. He still needs to work on his jumper, but that's why you have Melo as a shooter too, because he can move off the ball. You could get him more into his scoring lane, so he can be the best of both worlds. Then you can platoon them. You still have Terry Rozier. You get rid of Gordon Hayward's massive contract, and you continue to build for the future. You have a Mark Williams out, run up and down the court, right? You have certain players, JT, Thor. You have a couple players there that can, hustle and do the little work. I like Brandon Miller. So I wouldn't be hurt if they did choose Brandon Miller. I'm just saying what's going to happen if Scoot goes to the Blazers. The Blazers, if that's a great pickup, if Scoot falls to 3 in Portland, if I'm Portland, I'm scooping them. I'm getting Scoot. You're my point guard. Anthony Simons is my 2 guard. Right? Shaden Sharp is my other wing. Or he's my 6 man off rip. And I'm building the crap out of that team. And I'm saying, got the backcourt. Now we just get in the front court. We have Nas. We have Nurkic there a little bit. We have Jeremy Grant. Hey now. Right? Give them another year or 2. They're going to be right there. I like Anthony Simons. Love Scoop. And I love Shaden Sharp. Baby Carter. You know what I'm saying? Baby VC. So, hey, if I'm the Hornets, that's what I'm doing. If I'm the Hornets, I'm getting Scoop. If you can't, then and you chose Brandon Miller just to get a wing, then you got to get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract. You still have Terry Rozier as your 2. That's okay to have a starting lineup like that. But you need to get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract if that's going to happen. I do like Brandon Miller. He gives me a little bit of shades. He has some Paul George to his game. I don't see it because I don't know how great of a defender he is or willing of a defender, but he's a solid shooter, solid passer, right? He's someone I could see really being a really good wing, 2-3, right? About 6'9", 200 pounds. So that's a big backcourt too if you want to go him and Melo. There's no right or wrong here. It's just a matter of what if you got to know what you see. With building a team, you got to figure out what you want. So if you have a wing, you need a point guard, and you need a point guard, and you need a power forward that's going to run up and down, right? If you got wings, you just need spot-up shooters and a center that's going to do dirty work. If you have a point guard, right, which they have in Melo, you either build the backcourt or give them the guy on the wing that's going to run with them and get the ball, right? And LaMelo is multidimensional, so I would just see what happens. I think they're going to go Brandon Miller at 2, from what I've been told and what I've been seeing. So, hey, if that's the case, then that's the case. But that's going to be it for the stream, guys. Just wanted to take some time out of the night. I didn't want to talk you guys' ear off, go through some things that we've been talking about. Actually, no. One more thing. Forgot. One more thing. Your boy Ja Wick got suspended 25 games. Did he get left off the hook? Did Adam Silver give him a vacation of 25 games? And if you guys have been paying attention to the last couple streams, I personally would have suspended him half the year. That's me. I have my reasons. I'm not going to get into them. Go on a tangent. I will just say that the new generation nowadays is what happens when you give people $300 million, $200 million, and they don't have a support system. You have an enabling community that keeps enabling this guy to not make mistakes. See, so here's my whole thing, man. I'm going to just go off. I don't really care. This is my stream. I'm going off. I'm going to talk my stuff. I'm going to just be honest with you. My problem with Ja isn't so much him. It's the environment and the community that keeps enabling him to make the wrong decision. Right? You're 23 years old. You have hundreds of millions of dollars. So first and foremost, and to all my people that are coming up, that includes myself, people who are entrepreneurs, people who are really trying to do something in this life. Some life talk right now. When you're the black sheep, when you're the chosen one, you don't get a choice. You don't get a choice on whether or not you decide to not accept that responsibility. You don't get a choice. You have to accept that responsibility. Yeah, do you grow with it? Yeah. Do you make mistakes? I'm not saying you won't. But you still have to accept responsibility. This man, for a whole year, was under investigation from the NBA for continuous decisions he decided to make that could have went way left. In the Pacers game, could have went way left if people got hurt on that bus. Imagine a couple NBA players get killed because you have the wrong homies around you. Imagine if that 17-year-old, what happens to that 17-year-old kid? What happens to the people at the mall? What happens in those two cars, in the car in the live stream? What happens in the strip club? Something happens. Because you decided that you thought, because you decided as the tree that you could be with the grass because you came from the same place. First of all, you did not come from the same place, right? So stop trying to pull an image to people who do not care about you. So all my people in the come up, stop trying to create and promote an image that does not support your dreams. Stop trying to promote an image that does not support your dreams. Stop trying to imitate after people and after a community that we all complain about anyways. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say certain things. If it comes off a certain way, get off the street. Because this is bigger than just Ja. This is about the new age of young African-American people, young people in general. They're in America that are getting to the bag. You earned this. Your hard work earned this. Don't mess it up because of homies and people around you or a society that's trying to say, yo, this is the image we want you to be in. The image wasn't what got you there in the first place. Why would it be there now? Those people weren't there shooting you in the gym with you in the first place. Why do you think they're gonna be there now? They're not gonna care if you're there or not. They're not. They don't really care about you anyways. They just care about the benefits that come with the 200 million that you had, the 150 that you had. And guess what? If you love those people, secure the bag first. Then after your playing career, when you want to build that empire, if they still around, they can benefit from that. Or you could just do what Bron did. Yo, if you around me, if you want to come up with me, you got to be a part of the empire first. You got to come to the table with something. Do you want to be an agent? Do you want to be a trainer? Do you want to be a chef? Do you want to be a security guy? Do you want to deal with the brands? Do you want to deal with the endorsements and the sponsorships? Do you want to deal with the marketing? Do you want to do, what do you want to go? Where do you want to go? I'll help you, but you got to want to do something. Right? There needs to be an example set, or else there will be no change. And I'm sorry, but I'm tired of the conversation around change. I'm tired of the conversation around what the community needs to do and what people need. I don't care about that until I see some action, bro. Until I see some action. Until we see some action. Until we see the people that we continue to put in positions and to continue to get in positions and continue to mess up. Because they simply don't understand. And Ja's not the only one. Look at Zion. If that dude had any guidance in his life, he would not be in the position he is right now. But guess what? He is. So did Ja get lifted off the hook? We'll have to see. I mean, 25 games is a solid amount of games. I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't have even gotten to that point. That's my whole thing. Why does it have to get to the point where you're about to lose everything that you earned? Not like you almost got it, or you could have had the opportunity, or you had a taste of it, like a taste of the success. Nah, I understand that he was a nobody and he came up really quick in the basketball world, and he became a face of a franchise, a potential face of the NBA. Right? You have little kids wearing shoes. Shoes are selling out in 48 hours. You have the AAU world basically a microcosm of the way he plays. So But my point is, what about them that come looking up to you and coming after you? Like, we got to be a better example as a community. To all my young people, to the young people like my age, 25, 22, 23, 24, 25, all the way to 30, 35. We have an opportunity to really change the way that other people after us can come up. We really do. I mean, look at social media right now. Like, the main reason I'm streaming right now and in the YouTube space is because I've been watching a lot of Twitch streamers. Was watching Duke Dennis, AMP, Kai Sanat, seeing young black entrepreneurs, young black YouTubers really provide value to the marketplace and go crazy. So I'm like, yo, I gotta be next. I see an avenue in this. I see another lane. And because they're doing it the right way, I can kind of follow within the same footsteps. Maybe not do exactly what they do as far as their streams and stuff, but hey, I love talking about hoops. Everybody talks about hoops. Let's do it, right? There are people that so when I look at Ja, it's like, dang, bro, how many kids are gonna look like? You know how many kids are gonna look like? How different and how lit the NBA could be if you just do it right. And you the face of all this, you start a whole different movement. Get a little bit more swag in there, you know, the head taps, different color braids, the dancing. We love all of that. I love seeing that. Memphis Grizzlies is one of my favorite teams to watch because of the interactions on the court. But hopefully he learns, man. Hopefully he learns. And hopefully the league is in good hands with these younger players. I know they are. They have some stars. Jason Tatum's a dope dude, right? Great face of the franchise. You have Luka Doncic. You have your Anthony Edwards. You have your Shai Gilgeouses. Like, it's setting up for the young cats to take over. As a fan, I just want to make sure we're in a good place with it. So that's all I'm trying to do, man. That's all I'm trying to do. So I love and appreciate you guys for watching the stream. Like, comment, subscribe. I will be dropping more content throughout the week to my next stream. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe on this channel. Like, comment, subscribe to my other channel, Site Pats. We out. Love y'all. Peace.